It always takes the app a minute. Well, one of the apps anyway. Alright, let's start a recording session. That's how fast the Bluetooth turns on. It's 2026-06-16. Yeah, for another hour it's the 16th. Damn. Start off and it's at 10. I don't know. Well, I don't know what's going on. I'm assuming that I have the what do they call themselves? Pure video. No, the depressing thing about living here is it feels like the entire neighborhood is filled with people who are utterly self-destructive. People who proudly engage in self-destructive behavior. And the problem with self-destructive people is they rarely take this themselves down. Drink, smoke, eat bad food, listen to bad music and watch bad movies, drive badly in bad cars. I say bad that many times, that means yes, it's a bad neighborhood. So say something positive. There's a lot of people that want to do right. I need to just break down and turn on my I'm gonna turn on my floodlights. Anyway, probably gonna be very chatty tonight. I think this time I'm serious about buying a bike. Let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. I still had to figure out where I'm going to keep it, where I'm going to ride it, I thought about going to White Rock Lake, and then come to find out they got two things going on over there. So they got bald eagles nesting in one place, and sinkholes in the next. I haven't been over there in 6 years, so I have no clue what's going on. Last time I was even close to doing anything over there was I was trying to figure out how I was going to do a walking marathon that encompassed me getting over to the lake. It's just easier for me to pull it up out of the ground. Oh. I was just thinking about the last time I had a lemon lime soda. Last time I had a soda, huh? Yeah. Okay, so the last time I had a diet soda was probably 6 years ago. Last time I had a sugared soda. Last time I had a soda with sugar in it. Man, now that's a hard question to answer. $16 years? Probably about 16, yeah, it's probably been 16 years since I had a sweetened soda. Missed out on a lot. Last time I watched a movie in a theater was 2005. Last time I flew on a plane was almost 30 years ago. Last time I drank a sugared soda was about 16 years ago. Last time I had a beef hamburger, maybe 5 years ago, maybe longer. Why can't I stress that enough to people? It's like I gave up red meat, and I thought, oh my God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to live? And it's like, you sit there and you think, man, I should have did this. I should have never ate red meat. Like, I am not missing it at all. I don't know, people say things like that when they actually do miss it. I'm not saying that I completely chase no red meat shall touch these lips, but it's like actively me going out and actively engaging and eating it. I haven't done that in a while. I live with someone who they just can't give up the pork. So every once in a while I'll eat something that has somebody slipped a little bacon in it. It's amazing how much they put pork in everything. I eat these Campbell's bean and bacon soup because I like it. And it has, if it has pork in it, it is liquefied pork. Because I have no hint that they left anything solidly pork-based in those beans. They might be lying to you. You might be thinking you're eating pork, and there's just something that like they put a pork substitute because it was cheaper. There was a time when I was, like I said, I've been playing with diet, trying to get it to work out. And for a while I went on the Atkins diet. And I was eating every kind of red meat you can imagine. I said, I need my protein. And I was like, I'm gonna get it out of cans. And so I bought a shitload of Spam. Like I said, that was probably a decade ago. Anyway, last time I watched any kind of movie, sat down and just watched it from beginning to end without interruption on like a streaming platform or a channel on TV. I haven't watched a movie since, the last movie I watched was a pirate version of Winter Soldier. That might have been 2015. I used to have a job that things ran pretty slow, and so Netflix accounts was a necessity because it helped me get through the doldrums of shift work. Then sometime around 2018, or yeah, around 2017, 2018, it just started getting super busy to the point where I would have my little laptop, I'd put it down on the desk, and it would just it would never be opened. I mean, here I am walking on the very edge of the sidewalk. Whoever lives here just doesn't give two shits. And I don't know what's going on over there. I'm just gonna say it. I don't know what's going on in that house. The door never closes. They've always got the door partly cracked. My instincts based on my experiences, or is that somebody squatting in that house? Because I think the person, whoever's name is on the house, I think they died or something. I don't know. It's just, the name doesn't fit. Maybe the guy's a bit of a shut-in, or he died off a long time ago and then somebody just went in there and started squatting. But see, they're doing the squatting in the right way. I don't hardly hear a peep out of what's going on over there. Last time I saw a squatter, man, this dude he was bringing in junk stuff, had junk cars all over the place, people coming in at all odd hours of the night. Okay, it's always something, right? They were setting fires in the front yard. They were setting fires in the backyard. They were going next door to the house that was abandoned, and they were banging down the doors and trying to steal the pipes. The city had went in there several times. The police had went in there several times. It was a nightmare. But I guess that's the other part of this neighborhood. You wanted me to say something positive. People do a pretty decent job of keeping to themselves and not somewhat pulling other people into their problems. Now, I just said that. There are still exceptions to that rule. We had a mail carrier that somebody's crazy kid pulled a gun on her. We had situations where I was going to work and a guy pulls a Bobcat trailer right in front of my house and got out of the car and started running. And next thing you know, the cops were behind him. Cops running over, tackled the guy, and the other guy goes in the backyard of some random house in our neighborhood and tries to, do a standoff with the cops. We've had ICE come through here a couple times, but for whatever reason, they don't really go through this neighborhood all that frequently, at least not as far as I can see. But it definitely feels like it's a neighborhood on the precipice. Like you'll be reading about us every week in the Fox News where they give you those stupid crime stats or traffic fatality things, and they don't put any details in it that would help you out at all or the people in your neighborhood. It's just, this is what the police told us and they're not telling us shit. This is not quite a neighborhood where the cops keep a lid on things. Seems like every weekend I'm reading that thing and it's, this happened in West Dallas, this happened in South Dallas, this happened in West Dallas, this happened in South Dallas. I'm like, man, what the hell is going on over there? Here it's some stupid kid got liquored up, was trying to show off in front of his friends and ran into something. All right, so I'm gonna now I'm saying all this stuff and I'm walking around and it's 23:30. So you might come out here and you think to yourself, man, you're walking around at damn near midnight. Dallas must not be that bad. And the problem is that I've fooled you into thinking, or maybe you're just looking and you're thinking one day he'll get his. And you're probably right. One day I probably will get mine. What I'm walking, you don't see what I'm walking around in. If you see what I'm walking around in, it kind of makes sense. Okay. Now, every time I look, they got something going on at this particular house. But there's stuff that's happening around here that scares me, and I didn't think about it until I started reading about it. I said to myself, they were talking about, hey, insurance rates are going up because there's a lot of uninsured motorists in Texas. And it's like, that can't be true. It's like they've got a whole system where the cops can look up someone's plate. And then I started to think, and I was like, wait, yeah, that works if the cops are enforcing it. Do you really think that the Dallas cops are running plates all day and sitting there saying, oh, looks like we got somebody with no insurance, and pulling them over? No. I witnessed people driving badly down the road in a vehicle that looks like it's falling apart, and either it doesn't have an inspection sticker or the inspection sticker is years out of date. Not months, years. Sometimes they don't even have the sticker. And you start to think to yourself, okay, I see this just on a random walk. So I know they see it on a drive. Anyway, I'm in the nice neighborhood, so now it's time to talk about nice things. I'm not saying I could totally let down my guard over here, but it's a whole lot better than going that other direction. So the nice thing I can say, I'm on a quest to try to find a pair of glasses that I can wear at night. The reason I wear glasses at night is because there's always a slight breeze or a wind, and it is always dirty or dusty by the road. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to I just keep looking over at that thing. I am trying to find something that protects my eyes while at the same time not fogging up. I'm not saying I want it to enhance my night vision, but at least I don't want it, I want to be able to see clear. I want it to have clear lenses. And what I'm really questing for is I want a pair of smart AI glasses with good battery life that are IP67 water resistant. And what I can do is kind of integrate it into my setup here. I can stop wearing wraparound headphones. I could use them for the wraparound headphones maybe instead. Instead of trying to whip out my camera and constantly take pictures of something, I can use the glasses to take pictures. Maybe I can get it to sync up with my cameras and phone and kind of see where things are going every once in a while. And then the dream ticking off the dream part of the list, it would be kind of cool if I could put a heads-up display on it. Okay, technically that's not supposed to be there, but I don't care. This is looking a little raggedy over here. I wanted to get some daytime footage, and every time I try to get some daytime footage, some fucking nonsense happens. Not here, but I'm going to the branch. And I thought, okay, Tuesday I'm gonna get some footage, and then I have somebody who suddenly they act like they can't do anything. So I'm sitting here just wasting like half of the morning catering to stupid little whims. And I'd killed a couple of hours. And then somehow I had 3 service people coming in to do 3 different, that was of course 2 service people doing 2 different tasks. And a third, like I said, somebody's still lumping their shit on me. So I'm going to bed in the afternoon again, dealing with all that bullshit. It's not the weather that was the reason this week. It wasn't because I was doing my own little selfish, stupid little thing. Anyway, I'm out here damn near midnight when I could have been out here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Getting some 360 footage. I don't know if I was going to get any that's what I was trying to debate was, do I go to the branch and take some 360 footage, or do I go to the branch and just film with my normal GoPro camera? Because the thing that sucks about the 360 camera is it's so niche that you can only use it. The 3D camera, all it does is make 3D video. You can try to make flat video from it, but it's a long, painful process. Doesn't look quite right. So I have to sit there and you do 2 separate things. I have to sit there and try to make a flat video and then try to make a 360 video at the same time. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to set up my mount to do that. I think I'll mount the 360 camera. No, I can't do that. It's got to be a 360 video. I was going to mount it on my chest, but then the back part of it is just going to be taking a picture of my shirt and my titties. So somehow this thing got worse. Alright, I'm gonna take these off because they suck. And if I lose them, if they fall down on the ground, I think I'm just gonna leave them there. One day they're gonna find that guy wrapped around something. Those are the guys that I sit here and I read reports about later. Anyway. And I'm not talking about some karmic justice or some kind of divine punishment for skirting the laws. I'm talking about just plain physics. Driving around in this 2-ton vehicle at a high speed on roads that you don't know what the conditions are. It doesn't matter if there's no one else out on the road. You'll hit a pothole, you'll hit something. Somebody there, like I said, there's always road debris. There's always construction. And damn sure always are potholes. You hit that thing the wrong way at a high speed and you're gone. Our roads are give you the illusion that they're fast roads, but they're unsafe at any speed. One day he'll be doing that in the middle of traffic and run off into somebody. It's just statistically, he's gonna have a bad day. Now, there's some people that they have a lead foot and maybe they never pay for their crimes. I've been driving fast my whole life. Congratulations on bucking the statistics so far. But remember, you only have to have one bad day. One day you fly off your bike and hit the pavement. One day you run off into something. Just one day. One day out of hundreds of days of driving. One day. One day out of 365. One day out of 720 and some change. What's up? What's up, Snoopy? Uh-oh. They all after me now. Come get some. Yeah. Pugnacious. I wonder why the witches are out. Is it an equinox? I don't know. I think there are witches in that house. Could you legally? I mean, yeah, you can. Well, ooh, that's cutting it close. That might be the one way that ladies could save money on rent or buy a house is to form a coven. You can have up to, oh, sorry ma'am, almost ran into you. But hey, I can't let you stay there. I'm sorry to do this. That's right, get up in there. You can't be blocking my sidewalks, ma'am. No matter how fine your keister is. Spider booty. Anyway, it's a way to save money. Like I said, you get some, I mean, because if you're 4 people who go skyclad and chant to the moon, chances are, you know, you trust each other. Form a coven, and then see if y'all can get together and rent or buy a house. That's at least 4 people. Because in the coven you got north, south, east, and west. What on earth was going on over here? Looks like some kids were playing outside. And they left their energy drinks and everything over here. But yeah, that I don't know if males can do the same thing. You know, male warlocks, do they form covens as well? But I guess you can form some kind of religious brotherhood, and you can have at least 4 people who aren't related staying in a house together as far as renting it. And after that, you start running into the what they call occupancy. Damn it. You can tell that people haven't walked over here in a long time. There is so much spider booty blocking this sidewalk. All right, how do I get out of this mess? I'm tangled up with her. I'm gonna wrap around this pole. There we go. Hopefully I'm not dragging her. Are you telling me I'm the only son of a bitch that, well, like I said, I can't believe that she put that web out that fast. So it says it's a crime watch neighborhood, and it actually is. Apparently they would have a Walnut Hill VIP program. One thing I'm excited about going this way is to see if they did anything to that pothole that I reported. I don't think they did. I think they just closed my ticket out. Told me what I wanted to hear. And I was like, that's fair. I was not, like, Cochran Chapel is not my neighborhood. I just put that out there because maybe one day somebody's riding through there with a bike and it's kind of a wicked little thing that's forming over there. But if no one ever gets to it, I'm not going to put a complaint in. I did put a complaint in about the other one over there where they told me where that on-ramp is. You go sit here and tell me, yeah, we did it. No, you didn't. And there I am putting a complaint in with GPS body cam footage. Give them the YouTube link. I was like, your boy said that they did this. What does this look like to you? To quote my mentor, and I'm just gonna call him that, my mentor, to quote my old mentor, you can act stupid if you want. Every day of inaction is a day that something really bad could happen. It takes me 2 hours to do the walk. At least 5 hours to put the videos together. And then if I got lucky and I get like a couple hours of free time, I can start consolidating all the photos and video and start writing tickets. Ideally, if I didn't have such a shitty app, I could just write them on the fly. I'd be out here like plop, take a picture, say a couple of things, send it in. My dream is not to be doing the work of several city employees, for them to be doing their own goddamn work. I send you a GPS map, I send you a photo, I say a brief little comment, this looks like this to me, what do you think? Send it in. Not citing city ordinances, putting timestamps in things, citing past tickets, pointing out individuals. That's not what I really want to be doing. In other words, I don't want to be adversarial. I want us to work together, not against each other. I don't think that's unreasonable. Clearly you gave me this app because you want me to be your eyes and ears. But when did I become your brain too? And so that's where I'm at. Some tickets are dirt simple. I took a picture, I gave some coordinates, which once again, I don't know why I'm giving coordinates out. You can see where this is. I've done that, man. I take Google Maps. And you'll see me doing it tonight. I'll sit there, and I used to do the Google Maps. Now I can just go into Google Earth and I take a screenshot and then I put that in there. And the weird thing was, before I used to do that, I would try to give them streets and compass coordinates. And that wasn't working for him. Where was this at again? But when you sit there and put a GPS map in there, that eliminates all wiggle room. Did you not see the photos? Oh, I haven't had a chance. So I get those people. Oh, no, I haven't had a chance to. Okay. See, A, you don't know how to do you don't use the tech, which means you shouldn't be doing this job. Or B, you're too lazy to use the tech, which means you shouldn't be doing this job. So which one is it? Well, what I mainly need, I need help. I think everybody who's part of an organization who tries to do good in their neighbor and in their community says the same thing, and they're all right. We need help. I'm not even one of those guys who gets out here and I say, I need you to give me money. I need you to do this. I need you to hit the like and subscribe button. I'm telling you, if you see something out here in my videos, please, please pause for a second, take a screenshot, jot down, do whatever you got to do, but write a ticket. That's what I want. If you want to do audience participation, write a ticket on something you see in my videos. I thank you in advance. Tell somebody. Hey, you know, he saw this thing over there the other day. That doesn't look right. If it doesn't look right to you, say something about it. If I'm doing something wrong, say something to me. But let me know that you're doing something. Even if it's adversarial, I guess. It's the apathy that gets to you. And I feel bad because sometimes I do it in videos. I'll sit there and I'll watch Raleigh Williams doing climate change videos. They're doing Climate Town. And I want to sit there and write my congressman. And I do sometimes. But for the most part, it's like, I will put that on the back burner. And then the back burner is just, it never gets taken care of. John Oliver tells me that somebody is doing bad things in a nursing home. I'm like, let's go find that place and burn that fucker to the ground. It's never quite that vibe. We're not like the conservatives. We're not going to show up one day and just storm the Capitol. Although, you got to admire that the fact, like I said, the problem with the conservatives is they're all action and no theory. And the liberals are all theory and no action. And so somebody's begging for a third party that can do the best of both worlds. And I hereby declare at this time at 23:51 on 2026-06-16 that this is the formation of the We Get Shit Done party. Just put that on a ballot. You just the WGSD party. What does WGSD mean? We get shit done. Just to hear a moderator in a debate commenting on that. Excuse me, Mr. Young of the We Get Shit Done party. What are you going to do to address the issues with? And you know, it's like, I said, well, I'm glad you asked that, Kirsten. And so I have one of my policymakers right here. You see, it's not, I am the face, but let me let you talk to the body. And that's how I want campaigns to be run in the future. It's like, what am I gonna do? Dude, I'm up here because I'm pretty and you know I can make a funny joke every once in a while. No, let me bring in my policy person. Let me show you what she's gonna do. I said, you know, you asked that question, Kirsten thought you'd ask that, or so Kirsten, Bobby thought you'd ask that. And it's like, Bobby prepared a statement. Let me read it for you. I love that I live in a world where you say Bobby and you don't know if you're talking about a woman or a man. I kind of dig that part. There's a story. What do we got here? What do we got? We got the headlight of, this is one of the floodlights that probably comes off of a oh, which one is it? It's not a truck. It's definitely a car. It's probably an SUV. I think that's a luxury car. Well, that's their floodlight. I guess they ran into something and that kind of rattled loose. It's kind of weird to see one sitting there by itself as an individual. Usually now they make composite LED headlights. So that might have been the one that somebody had a little souped up car and it came off of their bumper cover and they ran into something. Oh, it's a new day. And I have no idea if I did my 10,000 steps or not. Police. So if you're one of those people that are like police minded, there is an app that you can use and figure out, you can track down where the guys call it, where that's going to. The reason I'm not really interested in those things is because all of that stuff's spontaneous and unplanned. He's going in there to quell some chaos. Chaos is the last thing I want to be dealing with unprepared. That, and I already have something planned and I got just enough time for it. Is that a zombie? Looks like it. It's kind of weird to have company. It's also kind of neat. Oh crap, she's got a dog. All right.
Who's that?
Is it a dog or is it kids? Huh? Okay, yeah, they're traveling together. All right, cool. Thought they had a dog.
Oh, I have no idea who that is. Holy shit, dude. Hey, what's going on?
Huh?
You know if there's another gas station close by?
What's that?
Gas station?
Gas station. Gas station.
Ran out of gas.
Yeah. Down this way. You go all the way down to Midway. They got a gas station over there. Okay. Where's the nearest gas station? Yeah. Otherwise, you got to go back that way, and there's a 7-Eleven over that way. About a mile.
Okay.
So you got a mile that way. You got a mile this way. Dealer's choice. Seeing a lot of folks from, I'm guessing, the Arkansas, Missouri region coming in this area. You know what? They could have been World Cup people. I never thought about that. I could have been talking to somebody from, these are World Cup fans. So then you see me walking around looking like this. He didn't sound like he had an accent though. She looked like she came from the gym, but at the same time, she kind of looked like she's been around a meth cooker too. But see, that's what I'm talking about, the random shit. Is it really a mile back that way? Yeah, it's about 1.2 miles. Of course, I'm using imperial units. I said, you got a mile that way, you got a mile this way. Dealer's choice. Was not trying to make a pun, but probably accidentally just did. He just looked at me and he said, you see what he said just now though? He said, holy shit. That's why, you know, I did too much. I got tired of trying to use the GoPro mount for my chest cam because it just wasn't enough. So I bought a harness that was designed, it was designed to be reflective, but it looks like it was designed for first responders with a CB radio. It's a CB radio, it's a radio holder. And instead I repurposed it and I got two lights to make myself highly visible. I got a reflective stripe, and then I've got this, for some reason they've got these lime green other things on here. And then I mount the body cam to that. Wasn't trying to look like something official, but somehow accidentally started looking like something official. So I made the joke, I'm a professional pedestrian. The helmet, I'm wearing a kayaker's helmet because I needed something to mount floodlights on, because I was filming in the dark and the GoPro had shitty low light filming. I could, and I probably should now. I've just gotten so used to having the floodlights in case I need them. They do come in handy. My problem is that, and my mentor said the same thing. He said, you look, he said, you look harsh and survivalist. And I'm like, that's not an insult. Yeah, I know you think that it is, but he's basically saying I look extreme. That wasn't what I was going for either, but eh. And then the fact that I know the area. And I haven't said anything about the Dolly City Hall. I haven't thrown my opinion out there. My opinion is apathy. Because here's the thing: is I don't care what building they're in. They can be in an ivory. They can literally be in an ivory tower, or they can be in a ramshackle hut. It's not the building that's important, it's the people inside, and the people inside are garbage. The people inside don't try to preserve works of art or try to encourage any kind of works of art. The people inside the building don't build any kind of culture. The people inside that building have their own agenda that they're doing. So if it was up to me, I wouldn't have them in anything. I'd have them setting up a tent outside and doing their city business out in the tent. That's how disillusioned I am with them. I don't care if they ever get a building. Sure as hell don't want to pay $1 billion for it. But that seems like it's a foregone conclusion. They've shown in the past that they're just gonna, like, the people will sit there and come out and protest and plead and yell, and then they'll go do their own thing anyway. They are, how do I put this? There was, and this is not just Dallas, this is just DFW in general. Irving did this thing where they were trying to, their council was trying to pass a resolution that would allow gambling in their area. And then people came down there and they were barking fire till 2 o'clock in the morning. They told them, no, that's not happening today. So then their city council tried to do sneaky things by holding late night meetings and shit to try to get around the will of the people. And that happens here in Dallas too. To be brutally honest with you, the city council should have no say over this. This needs to be put up for a vote. And you see these sneaky bastards are doing everything in their power to get around that. But I'm pretty sure there's some enterprising, like I said, the NIMBYs got money. So the NIMBYs need to hire them a lawyer and say, look, just block it. Whatever they try to do, block it. And force them to hold a vote with the people. Then everybody can get out there in their camps and they can do the pros and cons, whatever. And y'all gonna have them meet somewhere. Oh, that's neat. Okay. How long is that gonna stay like that, you wonder? Huh. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I don't really care where they put the city hall. I don't think they're worthy of a building. The other thing that doesn't make sense to me is they got property all over the place. They'll figure it out. You best believe that. They just want like I said, they want that, they literally want an ivory tower. I was like, we deserve an ivory tower. It's like, y'all deserve a tent. Y'all deserve a tent with a porta potty. This is not the right one, is it? I can never remember. Unless it looks like they cleaned up back here. Maybe the guy got tired of me. No. And it looks like I'm getting ready to chase somebody. It's like, I'm not doing any of that shit. I'm just... No, I just keep thinking that one day I'm gonna get shot. These are neat. I got a whole bunch of them on my property too. That one is attached to, that's a Ring camera. And it looks like it's not coming on, so he needs to fix that. So what do you suppose happened back here? I don't know, but that's... Am I in the right spot? No, I'm in the wrong spot. That's why this doesn't look right. I'm in the wrong spot. You know, the funny thing is, he didn't get my face just now. I know what he's got. He's got an infrared camera over there, and what it caught was his light and my light clashing. He got my reflective vest. Probably saw the infrared. In fact, this camera here has infrared lights. So he saw an infrared thing coming off my chest, 2 lights coming out. He didn't know what to make of that. It wasn't like I was trying to do that clothing jacket bullshit. It's just I got bad vision, so I need lights. Yeah, that was the wrong one. So I found out that guy's serious. I like it. I like it a lot. I wish more people were like that. That was where I was supposed to go. Now, what I hate about walking around at night is I'm the only source of light, and so I got bugs that are always accumulating on me. I keep running into spiders because they hunt at night. The night is the beginning of just one day for someone else. It's like this crack's getting worse. Anyway, that's a lawsuit right there. If I personally tripped and fell, I'd have to trip and fall, have the ER take, or have the first responders take me to the ER, take my ER bill, send the guys to small claims court, and then see what gets resolved that way. I didn't know that your insurance company can raise your rates based on that. I think that's crazy. I wonder if there's a way you can do that. You can find out who insures what building, and you can call the insurance company and say, hey, the people that have policy under you, you see they got this giant crack here. That's a liability. Maybe you guys can convince them to do something about that. Suddenly they start raising the rates on them, and they're like, well, why'd you raise our rates? Well, you guys got this crack out in the front that somebody mentioned to us, brought to our attention. Seriously, they can raise your insurance for that shit. Something to think about. I guess that's what I do during the day, is I learn new things, and I figure out how to weaponize them. Sometimes I come out here and I keep thinking like Goblin Slayer. Like I said, only my goblins are meth-addled squatters. And so to keep that from ever happening again, what do you think? Yeah, it's been a while since I pulled out my phone, so let's go ahead and get some. Oops, wrong thing. There it is. I've been listening to the same song since I was a kid. My dad had this on his, he had an 8-track tape of this. And I've just been listening to the same album since I was a kid. I don't know, a lot of people, I guess, do that. I grew up listening to smooth jazz. So you already know that I have bad taste in music. I see everything from the point of view of a smooth jazz musician, I guess. So, be it Boss Skaggs, Manhattan Transfer, George Grover, George Washington, Grover Washington, Grover Washington Jr., George Benson. That's why my head, I always got them confused when I was growing up. Ronnie Jordan, Dave Koz, Dave Grusin, Lee Ritenour, what's the guy that was on? The guy that was on Entertainment Tonight. Candy Dolfer. Oh my God, Candy Dolfer. When did they change this light? Hell, when did they change the sidewalk? Where have I been? So they finished all of this off and it looks wonderful. So they put a new pole up here with a transformer. They took out. So there used to be, okay, so they took out this pole, they took it out, and there used to be the security light up here, and they took that out. Even though this is probably what this area needs. Maybe that's why they made that one brighter, because they said, well, we'll fix this one and take that out. Is it still there? No, it's still there, isn't it? Yeah, it's still there. The pole is new, though. Just a matter of time for some trees growing in it, I'm sure. Oh. So what was this, Ramsey Lewis? That old Bach magic. If it wasn't for Ramsey Lewis, I would not have a love affair with J.S. Bach. Because a lot of the guys, they would do smooth jazz and they would do like variations on broke fugues. It was just funky fugues. So what happened over here? They cut the grass. That's all they did. They did the bare minimum. This shit's still here. I'll be putting in a complaint. My whole thing is I can walk on this. That's fine. I can walk on just about anything. This could be a river and I'll find a way to traverse it. But every time I do this stuff, I keep thinking, like I said, I had a dad that was disabled by a stroke. And he would try to walk these streets. And he literally walked these streets. There was sidewalks so bad, he would just go into the street and he would start walking in the street in traffic. And then back then, before I knew all of this stuff that you can do now, I'm still pretty powerless. But back then, we would just say, oh, we'll be praying for you, but don't be going out there. And he would go out there walking in the street preaching to people. There's something about their story didn't quite make sense, did it? Because they were coming in from this they were coming in this direction. And he tells me, yeah, I'm out of gas. I don't think I saw a gas can. I think I saw a 6-pack of beer, or a 24 case. I keep trying to listen to songs and stuff keeps happening. It's not like it used to be. I always wonder how many other people's camera feeds I wind up on, and I'll never know. Okay. Years ago I pirated the I guess it was, I don't know how I got a hold of it. That was the fun thing about the internet, is you go to the torrents and find something and it would just take you down all sorts of rabbit holes. If it wasn't for piracy, I would not have found a lot of these really obscure artists. That's why I can't really apologize for engaging in piracy. Sometimes it's the only way you're going to find out about certain artists. So the internet used to have tons of these packs of things, and you'd grab them. And I'm listening to a soundtrack that has been whittled down tremendously, but still needs to be whittled down some more. There's probably over 30,000 songs. Just random things from, there was some kind of 8-bit collective, and so they would come out with all the different songs on their album, or they gave out like giant compilations, just so anybody would listen to whatever they had to put out there. That's how I found out about Adhesive Wombat, Saber Pulse, Phantom Ink, Format. Fear of Dark. More car parts. Now you see, that'd be funny if that was all part of the same car. That's the grill. And the floodlights up a little bit farther up. Anyway, somehow I dug up the barge. I think, you know, it was like, oh, it's like, you know what, I haven't heard that song Who Is Johnny in a long time, from Short Circuit. And then stumbled across their entire catalog. So every once in a while you'll hear something from L. Right now it's a duet. It's a duet with L. And even them things are loud. So it's a duet with L and Bunny. Gas over here is expensive.
Wait.
Now I like the intersections that have the timed light, but I understand why they wouldn't put one here, because when people see it, they think it gives them license to start running, like trying to time the light. So they put a new pole out here with the transformer over it, and you can already see the trees are getting ready to claim it. Someday this whole thing will be wrapped in something. Oh, they even got a, okay, no, I think they had a GLFN FLN on it before. Just now the crosswalk came on after I pressed the button. I'm long since past the intersection. It's just so, especially when I watch like Not Just Bikes, man. Jason Slaughter goes out there and he puts these videos out there talking about all of the stuff that them people, they fought for that. The Netherlands is not a great place because it's engineered for pedestrian safety. The Netherlands is a great place because they fucking fought for that. Dallas won't fight for these kind of things. That's the aggravating thing. I got one group, one Strong Towns group, and they have meetings on weekends. I'm like, all right. Guy's name is Hexel Colorado, and I bumped into him one time last year when they were doing the dart thing. And his group looked like it was pretty small. Maybe they're getting bigger, because he keeps sending me all of these emails of all the different things. Like I think they had something today. Couldn't make it because I got all this bullshit happening today. Guy's got a worn out strut on that thing. Or no, that's the A-frame bushings. Anyway, it squeaks like crazy. As you can hear it just rocking. You can see it rocking back and forth when he's going. A-frame bushings. I had to change those things out when I was a kid. I did all that stuff. I changed suspensions, tire arms, rotors, hubcaps, bearings. There's just too much. Like on your suspension, there's just so many different parts. And if you got the specialized tools, you can have a lot of fun doing that. I never do. One time I was a kid and I was trying to change out a strut, and I didn't know that you had to have this thing that says press the spring. And I'm taking the bolt off and it popped off. And if I had hit my head in front of that, I would have had a bad day. Although in hindsight, I guess it wasn't a good idea to have preteen kids working on cars. But it's like I said, because I was a kid growing up in a car environment, I'm a car guy. I was born and raised, like I said, there's grease in my veins. I probably have brake asbestos in my lungs. So it's not like I'm a car, like I said, it's not like I'm a car hating person. I can appreciate the engineering that goes into a good car. When you have a magnificent four-wheeled vehicle and a magnificent driver, I can appreciate that. My problem is that today in America, you don't get those two things. Today, the majority is an idiot in a badly designed car, and that makes driving miserable. There are too many idiots out here in badly designed cars. Hell, America doesn't even make cars anymore. Let that sink in. We don't make cars. We make SUVs and trucks. That's it. The only car that any of these companies are making now is the Ford Mustang. No, I take that back. I don't take that back, because I think Dodge got out of making like the Challenger and the Charger. They pulled out. So your choices are muscle cars, oversized SUVs, or oversized trucks. I would have hated when I was a kid. I hated working on work trucks. They were all high up in the air. Everything on them was heavy, and they were always put together with like 18 bolts in places that didn't need bolts. I've worked in enough American trucks in my life to know that I hate them all. But people hold on to them for nostalgia reasons. You know, my dad drove this truck, and I remember having memories of him with busted knuckles and greased up hands working on the engine. And I was like, that's because your dad was working on a piece of shit engineered vehicle. You know, your nostalgia was your dad fixing a car that was poorly designed. I hate to break it to you. But they were simple to work on. Like, normally I hate German cars, but the car I grew up loving when I was a kid was the Volkswagen. My dad loved Volkswagens. He would always buy them at auctions or from little old ladies or college kids. And he would put a little bit of effort into them, paint them, sell them. My dad loved Volkswagens, but he loved money more. So, Volkswagen was a great piece of engineering. We used to have ice storms in Texas, and my dad would be driving around in his slug bugs. And it was like he would just ride on that ice, and he didn't care. He 40, 50 miles an hour on the ice. And I'd be like, what the hell? Rear wheel drive. Somehow the VWs had great traction. So I think about the funny things I did as a kid, sitting in the back seat of a VW. No seat belts. Flopping around. Sometimes I go on the internet and I find the ASMR, and so I'll find someone who has the ASMR of the old Volkswagen engines. Oh, I miss that sound. It's hard to. It had a chirp to it. It was like a cricket. This guy's sitting there talking, what the hell is he doing out there making engine noises at midnight? So, I smell WD-40. I smell a lot of things. I smell mildew, WD-40, Freon. I guess people would say Freon doesn't have a smell. All I know is I smell air conditioning fluids around here. It's just a strong smell of like this VW. It smells like WD-40. I can't really, I don't know how else to tell you that. The water displacement lubricant that they use, I guess. Anyway, I miss that sound. It didn't have the clutch. You couldn't hear the clutch engaging. It was, well, I take that back. Sometimes you could hear the clutch. Like the Mexi-Beals, you can hear the clutch engaging, and then I learned how to drive. Yeah, I know I'm giving away a lot for the identity thieves, aren't I? But one of the first cars I learned how to drive was a VW. When I learned how to drive on a stick. My family was a manual driving family. Even today I have a family member that they only buy cars with manual transmissions. Every car I've ever owned had automatic. If I needed to, I could drive a manual transmission car. It's been a minute. Nowadays, from what I understand, they don't even sell, like, there are no more stick shift manual transmission. They still sell manual transmissions, but they're electronic. There's a button on the steering wheel, and and I don't even think there's a third pedal for the clutch. So the way it works now is, from what I understand, is you just push on the accelerator and it has a fluid clutch. And then when you're ready to shift, you hit the button on the steering wheel and it goes into the next gear. That is so lazy. There was something intimate about having to use your whole body to drive that vehicle. And I say all that, and I'll probably be getting a bike, and the bike will have transmission on it, and the transmission will be something on the handle where I just kind of rotate my hand and shift in higher or lower gears. I'm getting a bike. Come hell or high water, I'm getting a bike by the end of this month. There is somebody down here. Okay. Well, I turned off my music because I wanted to get this very important point across about how, like I said, I'm not a car guy. I don't hate cars. I hate idiots. And they give idiots cars. So buy the transitive property. There's somebody in that car. Thought there was somebody in that car. That's my biggest fear. Is it's not that I'm going to get mugged. The way it works is my tier of fear is dumbass with a gun, cop, then thief. How messed up is that? When I walk around here, I think I'm either going to get killed by Barmy Fife or some Second Amendment nut just itching to try out his revolver or 9mm on. He's going black buck hunting. Holy shit, they actually did it. They saw what I saw. It was a big crater. And they filled it in with a cheap asphalt patch. Yeah, it's better than it was, but first rainstorm, that'll come right up. All right. Well, cool. Now here's my question. Do you think the people that lived around here noticed any of that? That's my question to pose to whoever might be watching this. Who thinks that these people noticed somebody did that? They probably think, well, the city was probably going through here doing a survey, and which I guess they're partly right. I don't work for the city, I am the city. I work with the city, not for the city. I am the city. Man, think about how loud everything is out here. All right, time to scare some animals. They're more scared of you than you are of them. I was like, yeah, you say that, but chances are I'll be fighting a disease or just pure fear. Yeah, I definitely would have loved to have come here during the day. And I just know, it looks like somebody mowed through here. All right, I'll do this for the friends of Bachman Lake. I'll just kind of come over here and walk back that way. Looks like it's gonna be a day where I have 30,000 steps on my counter. And they're going, like, man, you did 30,000 steps in one day? Yes, but there's a caveat. We got bunnies humping around. Bunny love. My viewers almost got treated to some bunny porn. That brings back a memory. Yes, I watch bunny porn. But there's a pun. Her name was Bunny Love. And oh my God. Bunny Love was a reminder of what porn used to be. She was a legacy porn star from like the 70s and 80s who was skinny. She was skinny, she had these big blue eyes and this goofy look on her face. And she was bleach bottle blonde. And then she started aging out of the industry. She went off and got big implants. Now you see I'm saying all this stuff. Friends are approximately like, we got kids watching this. It's like, no, kids shouldn't be watching this. Anyway, I was over here looking at the watering thing, just making sure nobody was fucking with it. I guess I need to do a better job instead of talking about Bunny Love. I still want to talk about her, so I will. Anyway, she got implants, and then she dyed her hair some kind of weird punk red, and then got a really awful looking tan. She went from like cute bubbly bimbo to punk rock kind of thing going on there. She hit the 90s hard, and the 90s were all about surgically altered bodies and definitely a lot. It was like the Jane Fonda meets, let's see, I'm trying to think of what a plastic surgery show was. Basically, it was like Jane Fonda got plastic surgery, which she probably has, but I mean, like, it was a weird era. Bunny Love was one of my favorites. And you sit there and you talk about them past tense like they're dead, and then you're like, no, she's still working. It's like, what do you mean she's still working? She's got to be like, yeah, she's like 67. It's like, what? It's like, oh, she's got an OnlyFans site. I was like, huh? And you think 67 is too old to be doing porn, and then every once in a while you catch a glimpse of a video from a tube station, and you're like, oh. Like that joke from Family Guy. It's like, you're going, oh, like, she doesn't look that bad. But then you're like, oh, but she is 60. And you're like, oh, but you can still be spry at 60. And then you're doing that last oh because you're thinking, oh, she has to do this at 60. It's crazy to me that there's somebody out there who's collecting a Social Security check while being on OnlyFans. You gotta let that sink in for a moment. You are supposedly old and decrepit to where you're supposedly, I guess you need that, you need that social safety net. You can't work like you used to. And yet you're working in an industry traditionally for young people. Porn has changed. Let me put it that way. It's changed a lot. What happened was it got democratized, and I could not be happier. Except porn has a criminal past, and the criminal past didn't go away just because the studio shut down. So let that sink in for a moment. If anybody can do it with a camera, who has a camera and access to the web, then anybody is doing it with a camera and access to the web, which means that The guys that you least want to be doing it, they're doing it now. So you have to be careful on what you're watching. Because you could be the accessory to a crime. Wow, that is... Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is... She's kind of malnourished, isn't she? You'd think she'd be eating better. Oh, she's young. Put some meat on that booty. She knows that big, glorious spider booty. She can put out that giant egg pouch. It's the crazy thing about a spider is their whole life is based around that silk that they produce. They're born in silk sacks. They put out a silk, they put their butts up in the air and put a silk thread out and let the wind take them wherever. They hunt their prey with that, and the whole thing is geared around. All of their energy and calories are geared around making thread. That's just crazy yeah, it was a 9-banded armadillo I saw the other day off of Cochran Chapel. So he came from here and went all the way up the street. That's crazy. They used to have beavers over here? No. We had nutrients. I don't know what happened to them. I've never seen a beaver. But I've seen tons of nutrients. They look the same. They look almost similar, just that the nutria has a rat tail. And they too are an invasive species. Dallas tried everything in their power to get rid of them. For the most part, he succeeded. So there are times when there are people who are fighting this the right way. Like I said, I'm walking through here at midnight because some people, like I said, a group that I am affiliated with, fought hard for this. That's a big spider web. So they're hunting. There's something up there ahead. I think I see a pair of eyes. Oh, time to go walk into the danger. Because I'm stupid. And ever since I found this long path, I am in love with the branch. I just wish I could get some daytime footage. I am cursed to never know what this place looks like during the day. I bet it's wicked amazing. I bet I come through here and it is. Because you saw my footage of 9940 Webb Chapel yesterday. I go through 9940 and you go through that little bramble, and right there is the branch. Not the branch, but I'm sorry, Joe's Creek. And you can look right, you could go walk right into George Creek if you wanted to. And it's just amazing to see it. The depressing thing about going through Joe's Creek is you could see that at one point it was a mighty water, what am I trying to say here? It was a mighty waterway. Now it's reduced down to a trickle. More ragweed. So I'm not sure if somebody came through here and mowed out some of the ragweed that was over here, but there was a lot before here. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Texas ragweed, which I don't see a plaque for, but this will get tall and it'll put its big old giant pollen cones out there, and all that stuff will spread around, making everyone miserable. Look at this. That's baby. Some of this stuff you can eat. I think you can eat ragweed. I used to have I had about 2 or 3 Boy Scout manuals in my lifetime because they were hard to keep dry. But the cool thing was it would have the thing in there about edible plants, and It wasn't the stalks that were edible. What you would do is you would dig them up by the roots, and then you can boil the roots. I guess boiling denatured some of the alkali that was in them, and so it made for a decent meal. Like milkweed is edible. You cut the stalk off of it, and then you just boil it, and you can eat the roots. Bull nettle, I heard, which is a really nasty plant. It's got these needles on it, and causes a lot of bad reactions to people who get stung by the needles, the nettles. But it supposedly is really tasty. You can make salads out of it. I say salad. I'm sorry, you can't eat it raw. You have to boil the leaves like spinach. But yep, and there's the branch. I could walk through there, but now I just see all of this milkweed growing pretty damn strong. But during the day, I'm pretty sure I can get a nice view of the... Okay, there we go. I keep forgetting. Now here's my question. I don't know if it's legal or not, but could I traverse... I got a bird up here watching me. You can hear him flutting around. Wondering what the hell I'm doing as I'm narrating. I guess he's gonna try to yank my helmet off. Anyway. Kind of wonder if I grabbed a canoe or a kayak because it's flat bottom. Grab a kayak and could I traverse the branch? At what points does it turn into a trickle? Well, no, I couldn't do it. So what would happen is, as I paddle down it, I would eventually hit Bachman Lake. Yeah, I guess you could do that. I don't know why anyone else hasn't. I don't know if it's illegal or not. Are there groups that kayak down the Bachman branch onto Bachman Lake? It would deposit you, let's see, it would deposit you over there by Denton. Well, that'd be kind of a rough, that'd be kind of a rough slog. Looks like they cleared it out again. Yeah, next week I will try very, very hard. But like I said, I say next week for all I know. Who knows what's going to happen? I have no control over some parts of my life. I keep picking up. I have tons and tons of spider webs accumulating on my arms and legs right now. And it's annoying because there's another, look at that, you can see her clear as day. She probably accidentally just picked up her web too. Anyway, if I have a wolf spider on my back, I'll know what happened. This is the part of the movie where something comes out of the bramble and just kind of like, you know, decides to make extra orifices in my body. I was like, no thank you, I have enough. So what was that? Whatever it was, I stunned it. Looked like some kind of, oh, I don't really know what it was. Like a rat or something. It might have been a possum. A little baby possum, which means mama's around here somewhere. Man, it has gotten thick over here. You can hardly get through here. Uh-oh, what was that? You telling me some fucking idiot left? What is that? That's exactly what you think it is. Some idiot left a lime bike back there. I I guess I better put a GPS tag in. All right. Lime bike on the Bachman branch. Period. (3700) West Northwest Highway, comma. 3700 West Northwest Highway, comma. It's not West Northwest Highway, it's Shorecrest. Shorecrest. All right. Can I get some image on this? I can save the project. There's no project. Let me see. Maybe I can get a zoom in on that. As zoomed in as it's gonna get. But yeah, it's a Lime bike. How the hell did they get all the way back there? It's crazy. I mean, there's no... I'm looking at it now, but fourth dimensionally, I don't know. Anyway, there's a Lime bike back there. To any friends of Bachman Lake members that are watching my videos, there's a Lime bike back there. I don't really know how else to say it. I don't even know. I guess you call Lime and they would come pick it up. In fact, that's what it is. I keep thinking someone else will take care of it, and I was like, you will, Wayman, you will take care of it. you will call Lime tomorrow, and you will tell them to come pick up their bike, and you will give them the GPS coordinates, and you will say, I need you to pick that up because that has lithium ion in it, and that is a fire risk. Now, the last thing I want is a fire in the branch. You saw it, you handle it. And what bugs me the most is, how am I going to get a hold of these guys? A lot of times they clam up. Like, I try to report shopping carts all the time. And I was like, yeah, I want to send you guys a picture. Nah, we don't care. Where'd you say you saw it? At this address? Okay, we'll find it. I was like, I don't know that you will. That's why I want to send you a picture. I get evidence and I get directions, and no one seems to want either one of those things. No, we trust you. You shouldn't. Okay. My quest. At the very least, I want to get a couple of bags of gravel, and I want. That's what. At least let's keep it small. So I'm going to come over here one day with a wagon, and I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. It'll be a test to see if I can actually build a trail. Did these break off, or were these sawed off? These broken off. Oh. Well, I was gonna go over to the bad side. I was gonna go down to Centro and, like I said, check my flypaper and see what's sticking. But you know what? That can wait till tomorrow. So, I think the branch is gonna be bone dry for a while. Now, What are the odds that I'm going to see some preteen kids chilling out here on the trail? That just kind of rocked me. Like, look like they were 10-year-old boys, 9, 10 years old. They were just sitting there like they've always been there. And I was like, who the hell is watching this kid? And then there's this douchebag looking off the balcony, talking loud on his cell phone. And I said, well, either that's daddy or somebody that daddy needs to be watching out for. What's weird is the spider hanging off of the bird feeder. Looks like the bird feeder's yanked out over here. I don't want to. I got this feeling like I'm not supposed to cross this line. I'm gonna leave it alone. I think there's a group that handles that. So that's kind of their thing. So for all I know, maybe they're doing that to air it out, and there's some kind of bird disease or something that's going through there. Engine noise coming from runway at around 1 a.m. Definitely after 11 p.m. period. I've had days, man. I call that the... Oh, where is that coming from? That was a gunshot coming from Shorecrest. Single gunshot. It sounds like fireworks. That's not a gunshot, that was a firework. Two weeks before the 4th of July. Yeah. I guess they're the Freedom 250 crowd. Ah, fuck me. Definitely police. So I'm over in the Bachman branch off of 3700 Shorecrest, but it sounds like I'm hearing pops of either fireworks or gunfire coming from the Shorecrest area. Yes, Lemmon and Shorecrest. That's definitely where it sounds like it's coming from. No, it was loud. I'm like I said, I'm over here in the Bachman branch right now. Since I called 911, I know you guys are locked in on my GPS. So I'm over in the branch, and I was just kind of touring it, and all of a sudden I heard one pop, and then the next thing you know, 6 pops in succession after that. Loud pops. No, I'm hoping that it's just some dumb kids out there, you know, getting ready for the 4th of July, but you never know. Sure. My name is Wayman Young. I don't know what my phone number is. I think you can pull it off of here. This is my field phone. That sounds about right. Thank you. The fun part about being out late at night. But yeah, they're popping off fireworks, having a good old time, and the next thing you know, something catches fire. Yeah, that's where it was coming from. I know exactly where it's coming from. It's coming from the dog park over there. Kids were out in the open field. Okay, all right. Damn. It sounds like I'm walking. Okay, so it might be coming from the we got competing fireworks, or they were in a car. They were in a car. Or that was a car backfiring. I don't know. All I know is it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and apparently everybody's trigger happy. I'm angry because the night is mine. There is a peace and a serenity to the night, and these fucking yahoos are breaking it. Oh, that's a heron. Saw the lights and got spooked. This stuff's getting unruly. More ragweed. Did you hear those pops? You hear those gunshots? Or what was that? Fireworks?
Yeah.
Yeah. So be careful.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Nah, it sounds like the guy I've seen him before. And it sounds like he went to college. Like when your college professor is falling on hard times. Either that or he's doing this for a there was a guy that he was like the mayor. I forgot which city he was the mayor of. He was the mayor of a city. And so to tackle the homeless problem, he left City Hall that day and just dressed in some modest clothing I started hanging out where the homeless hung out. And he said it was an eye-opener for him because he went out there and the cops are harassing people. He said he had normal people say, he was basically saying what it was like in their skin. And something was going to happen to him. It was going to be bad. And he spoke up and he said, "Hey, I'm the mayor." And suddenly everything changed. But he said, "Man, if I hadn't said that, what would have happened?" So, no, that guy's not the mayor. The mayor's a turncoat black guy who, just like every other person that's on that city council and city hall, he's in it for himself. So he saw which way the wind was blowing and he decided he was going to become a Republican, even though the Republican would never welcome guys like him into their tent. He's a rhino. And they'll use him, abuse him, and toss him to the side when he ceases to be useful to them.
Wait to cross Northwest Highway at Marsh. Wait.
All right. Guess I can turn all this off now. Maybe I should leave it on. Actually, I'm waiting to cross the street and I don't have to. There's nobody out here. What would be funny if that was a guy going to the World Cup and like he said, "Well, I can't stay in a hotel," and so like he found out that there's a little place where guys camp out, and he's been camping out there going to the games. That could be it. That could be what's up. Maybe he could be staying at the hotel over there, and every once in a while he just kind of comes out here and hangs out underneath the bridge. As Occam's razor tell you, he's probably got a substance abuse problem and he's hanging out on the bridge. That's the simplest explanation. At one point he had a successful business or whatever, and he just couldn't stop using whatever substance he's using, and so now he sits there under the bridge. Anytime he can get himself cleaned up and get back into the good graces of society, but he'd rather deal with his demons or run from his demons under a bridge like a troll. The educated troll. Start calling that guy the Harbor Troll. All right, here comes that moment of truth. I can pull maybe I can pull two things off the board. I saw the one off of Cochran Chapel. They took care of it. Now that looks like it's patched. Yep, that's patched. Until the next rainstorm hits, and that comes right up. But for right now, the cockpit's still open. Okay. Something I've been meaning to do for a while now. All right, do I still have it open? I do. Yep. Give them some landmarks. Well, you can't see shit with the Walmart logo there. Maybe the cockpit will do better. It's over by Target. My sister knows about all these places. Like I said, it's so one of the things that happened, and I found this out from the Preston Hollow Advocate, was that Neiman Marcus closed his doors, and it's not going to break my heart at all. Never set foot in the store. Will never set foot in the store now. Apparently, we used to get their catalog. I remember one time on the catalog it said you can buy a Mark V, Mark III or something like that. It was a Mark something armored vehicle for $35,000, and I said, it's like $35,000, huh? Top speed of 30 miles an hour. Like the Serbian army or something had a surplus of these things, and somehow Neiman Marcus got a hold of one of them, and they were selling it in their catalog. You can buy the armored vehicle if you so choose. Approved for NATO roads. That's the kind of stuff I remember. I remember hearing stories about the guy who owned the store. A lady came in and she says, I'm not really sure what I want. Can you recommend anything? And the store owner put his fist to his chin and thought about it for a second. And he pulled out a crystal bowl. And he started filling that crystal bowl full of pearls. And then he took and filled it with like different types of gemstones. And the way it was described to me was he made the lady something that resembled a banana split or an ice cream sundae out of jewels and crystal, and offered it to her, and the lady just smiled and said, I'll take it. And that was supposed to signify what their store was about. Anyway, in my financial class, the name for the store was called Needless Markup. So it gives you an indication of my relationship with the store. Although, every once in a while I did kick at myself for not buying that armored vehicle. I probably could have bought it. It's like, where'd you get this armored vehicle? Neiman Marcus. Like, no, seriously, where'd you get it? Neiman Marcus. Check the catalog. If you're not going to be serious about this, look, let me show you. This was before the internet. That's why I can tell you it was in the catalog. Needless markup. When in places like Neiman Marcus, which is just a toy store for the rich, when even they succumb to what we're not calling a recession, the not recession, what does that tell you? A place like Neiman Marcus should be recession proof. It should not matter. should not matter what the market conditions are. Neiman Marcus. So even the rich people aren't buying gaudy baubles like they used to. I mean, it's crazy to me. It's a store that just catered. I don't know who Neiman Marcus was really for. I had relatives that worked there.